Morning students, today I am going to discuss with you a few more additional questions from the chapter The Adventure. Now let's start. The first question is, what were the thoughts of Professor Gayatunde as his train approached Bombay? Answer. Professor Gayatunde's mind was solely contemplating on the action plan to be taken at Bombay. He was a history professor and therefore wanted an explanation of why and how the present state of the things had reached. He wanted to consult Rajendra Deshpande at Pune to understand the mystery. Next question. What indication do you get that tell the Professor Gayatunde was visiting a British Indian Bombay city? When Jijamata Express reaches the Sarhad station, an Anglo-Indian in uniform comes to check the tickets. The British India began from there. A passing train had GBMR, Greater Bombay Metropolitan Railway, written on it, and a tiny Union Jack, the British flag, was painted upon the carriages. The people working at the Victoria Terminus station were predominantly Anglo-Indian, the British and the Parsis. Next question. What did the history books say about the East India Company and what was the reality? What did he see in Bombay? Professor Gayatunde was answered. The Professor Gayatunde was surprised because history books said that East India Company had packed up from India after the 1857 mutiny, but in Bombay it appeared to be thriving. While walking on the Hornby Road, Gayatunde saw Boots and Woolworth's departmental stores. There were offices of Lloyds and Barclays. There was no handloom house. When did history take a different turn according to Professor Gayatunde? Answer. History took a different turn during the Battle of Panipat. According to Gayatunde, Abdali was defeated by the brave Marathas, led by Sadashiv Rao Bhau and his young nephew Vishwas Rao. The reality of this history was different from the one taught in the modern day schools. So you must remember the name of the brave Marathas led by Sadashiv Rao Bhau and his young nephew Vishwas Rao. Next question. What were the effects of the victory in the battle between the Marathas and the East India Company? Answer. This victory uplifted the morale of the Marathas and established their supremacy in the northern region. The expansion program of the East India Company also suffered a jolt because of the ambitious Vishwas Rao and his brother Madhav Rao. The company's influence was reduced to very small areas. Next question. What was the intention of Peshwas keeping the Mughal regime alive in Delhi? The Peshwa were open-minded rulers and they realized the importance of technological development in Europe and wanted to set up their own learning centers of science and technology. The East India Company saw it as an offer to give aid and provide experts for the job. Next question. Gangadhar Pant began to appreciate the India he had seen. What kind of India had he seen? Answer. Professor Gayatunde, while he was reading the history book, saw an India full of pride honor and self-respect. It had permitted the British to do only business. The company's lease was going to expire in the year 2001, according to a treaty of 1908. What next question? What did Gaitunde discover in Baho Sahib Banchi Bakar? Answer: in Baho Sahib Banchi Bakar, Gaitunde realized that Marathas actually had won the Battle of Panipat. It is said that Vishwas Rao guided his horse and attacked the elite troops. It also said that God was merciful when a shot brushed past his ear. Even a difference of a till sesame would have led to his death. Next question. What was what was the scenery at the Azad Maidan as witnessed by Gaitunde? Answer: when Gaitunde took a stroll towards the Azad Maidan, he saw a pandal where a speech was to be given. The presidential seat did not have anybody on it, so Gaitunde got attracted towards it. He went to the mic and gave vent to his views, saying that an unchaired lecture was like Shakespeare's Hamlet without the Prince of Denmark, that is, Hamlet himself. Next question. What did Rajendra Deshpande reveal to Professor Gaitunde about the collision history? Answer. Rajendra Deshpande asked Gaitunde as to what he was doing just before the collision with the truck. Gaitunde had not told Rajendra about it, but he knew it. Surprisingly, Gaitunde was thinking about the catastrophe theory and its effect on history in the years to come. Next question. How did Rajendra Deshpande relate the catastrophe theory to the Battle of Panipat? Answer. Rajendra Deshpande told Gaitunde that the bifurcation in the history had taken place during the Battle of Panipat. Deshpande had the catastrophe experience. This is why the world Gaitunde was in. This is why the world Gaitunde was in was a different reality. The page of Baho Sahib Banchi Bakar said that Vishwas Rao did not die, whereas the history book of the modern times said that Vishwas Rao died in this battle and the Marathas lost miserably. Next question. What was reality according to Rajendra Deshpande? Answer. Explaining the reality, Rajendra said to Gaitunde that we experience reality through our senses, which have limitations. Reality has been experimented upon small systems like atoms and their constituent particles. While doing so, the physicist found a startling thing that the behavior of such systems cannot be definitely predicted. Next question. How can there be a contact between many worlds according to Rajendra Deshpande? Answer. Rajendra explains to Gaitunde that there could be experience only one world at a time. The bifurcation took place at the time of the Battle of Panipat, so he did not travel to the past, but because of the catastrophe theory, he experienced it at the same time. Next question. How, according to Rajendra, Gaitunde managed to get into this transition state? Answer. Rajendra Rajendra expressed that it could be because of the thoughts going on in Gayatunde's mind at the time of collision. Perhaps Gayatunde was wondering about the Battle of Panipat, and therefore, at the time of the collision, the neurons in the brain acted like a trigger, and he made a transition as a result. What did Next question, what did Professor Gayatunde decide about his presiding over the meetings again and why? Answer, Professor Gayatunde was to talk about the course history would have taken if the result of the battle had gone the other way. It would have been his thousandth presidential address, but Professor decided never to preside over meetings again. His experience of his thousandth address made on the Azad Maidan was horrifying and bewildering. He was so rudely interrupted as he tried to speak. Next question, do you find the title of the lesson, The Adventure, appropriate? Answer, the title given by the author Jayant Narlikar is absolutely appropriate to this lesson because Gayatunde made a mental transition or a journey to have the experience of the two worlds at the same time. Gayatunde had a collision with another world because of the catastrophe theory. Therefore, his journey to the British world and to the time of the Battle of Panipat and the modern present world can be called an adventure. Next question, what book did Gangadhar Pant Gayatunde browse through in the library? What did he find? In the town hall, answer, in the town hall library, Gangadhar Pant browsed through 5 volumes of history. Volume 1 took the history up to the period of Ashoka. Volume 2 up to the Samudragupta. Volume 3 up to the Muhammad Ghori. Volume 4 to the death of Aurangzeb. Reading Volume 5, Gangadhar Pant finally converged on the precise moment where history had taken a different turn. That page in the book described the Battle of Panipat that the Maratha won handsomely. Abdali was defeated and was chased back to Kabul by the triumphant Maratha army. Next question. What came as a huge surprise to Gangadhar Pant as he emerged from the station? Answer, as Gangadhar Pant emerged from the Victoria Terminus station, he was shocked to see the imposing building of the East India Company flourishing. As he walked along Hornby Road, he found a different set of shops and office buildings. There were boots and wool were the department stores, offices of Lloyds, Barclays, and other British banks. In a typical high street of a town in England. So students, for today, now I conclude this video, and the next day we will study about the long answer type questions. With this, thank you very much for listening, and I think you should note it down if it needed on your notebook. And with this, thank you very much for learning, for reading, for listening, and happy reading, and have a nice day.